Lollipops and the end of the world. Open up, also known as Chupa Chups, are annoying. If you are young enough or have young kids or have had young kids, you will know well the weird, inexplicable, head shaking infuriation of opening lollipop wrappers. In particular, Chupa Chups. Seriously popular and seriously annoying. The kind that make you go, humans have reached the moon but can't make a lollipop wrapper that peels off easily? But wait, now take a step back. There is a psychological phenomenon where highly competent people become more likable after committing a minor blunder. This so called pratfall effect was coined by American psychologist Elliot Aronson in the late 60s. The idea is that perfection can be intimidating, suppress warmth even. But minor imperfections can humanize excellence, restore warmth without destroying status. As has been said, competence makes people appear worthy of respect, and making a mistake makes them relatable. Now, brands have leveraged this as an approach to humanize, be more relatable, or just add some self deprecating humor and endear themselves to consumers. So, I don't know if it's a bit of a stretch, but you could say Chupa Chup heard all the whining about their wrappers and asked someone to hold their beer, and then it made wrappers that are not difficult but impossible to open.
Introducing Chupa Chups Impossible. Inside is our new, easier to open wrapper, encased in carbon composite, wrapped in aramid fiber, coated in silicon carbide, and dipped in liquid rubber.
This most unopenable lollipop ever is a limited edition product available to influencers, of course, who will validate this over engineered piece of candy clothing. But surely that's not all. Yes, fortunately, Chupa Chups has actually made wrappers that are easier to open. Finally, hallelujah. Except they have, in this stunt, wrapped those in ridiculous weapons grade covering. But that's all this is, a stunt, which means we can all hope to find slightly less annoying lollipops in the market soon. As the creative at BB8 said, this is one of those stupidly brilliant ideas where doing the complete opposite to what you should do is the obvious answer. The pratfall effect has a good history of brand usage, so I couldn't resist this chance to give a quick look at some others. Domino's famously showed radical transparency when it publicly acknowledged customer complaints that said their pizza tasted like cardboard and promptly relaunched the recipe. Guinness cleverly and famously made the slow pour of their brew into a virtue. It might take a while to pour a pint, but hey, good things come to those who wait. Duolingo, of course, embraces its own annoying owl, believing they can convert well known irritation into shared humor on social. IKEA has leaned into jokes often about its self assembled pieces. Way back, Listerine's original mouthwash, medicinally unpleasant to put it mildly, accepted its fault and simply sold on the idea that, quote, anything that tastes that bad has got to work, end quote. I think that was my favorite. Anyway, let's all patiently wait for our neighborhood mini mart to get that great invention of humankind, a lollipop that can be unwrapped easily. AI Watch. First off, a documentary that seems all too timely. Here we have the utility meets cheeky title, The AI Doc, or How I Became an Apocalyptimist. The AI Doc, or How I Became an Apocalyptimist. From what I can tell, it looks to address the difficult balance many are trying to find between robots entering our world, or at least LLMs crushing our cognition, with the hype around AI and how our lives are going to be enriched in ways we cannot comprehend yet.
So I started making this movie because my wife is 6 months pregnant. Is now a terrible time to have a kid.
AI is moving so fast.
It's being deployed prematurely. There's so much potential for things to go wrong.
Collapse of humanity, abrupt experimentation. Is now a good time to have a kid? There's so much potential for things to go wrong. The most extraordinary time ever. With bites like these and interviews with leaders from OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepMind, and more, there's likely something for everyone in this doc. Though hopefully, the result is not a vanilla soup of everyone has a valid POV. Somehow, I don't think so.
This is the most extraordinary time ever. The only time more exciting than today is tomorrow.
It does come from some serious pedigree. The Oscar winning filmmakers behind Navalny and Everything Everywhere All at Once produced direct a film with the logline: A father to be tries to figure out what is happening with all this AI insanity. The AI doc, or How I Became an Apocalyptimist, is a handmade, eye opening documentary about the most powerful technology humanity has ever created and what's at stake if we get it wrong. They thoughtfully have the definition of apocalyptimist readily available too. Now, this is helpful considering it is a made up term. Apocalyptimist, noun, a person who believes that even though we are currently racing towards the worst possible outcome, there's still a chance we can get our shit together. That sounds right. It also comes with two entirely different looking posters if that sort of thing pleases you. It's in theaters soon, which means most of the world that does watch it will watch it on Netflix. More AI nuggets. Recently, I touched briefly on how Sora 2's user focused app was becoming a bit of a damp squib. Patrick Wilkins breaks down how it has been an utter flop: $15 million a day in costs, $367,000 a month in revenue. His post also has this nugget, which is absolutely spot on. Quote, AI video generation is not a consumer social product, it's a B2B production tool. Google has acquired Producer AI, a generative AI music platform that will join Google Labs. Using, amongst others, Google's Lyria 3 model to generate music, it will continue Google Labs' focus on, as they say, enhancing human artistry, enabling exploration and expression. Or, as James Piro over at Gizmodo says, to enable us all to, quote, lob prompts at the chatbot like make a lo-fi beat and watch as it snatches the joy of creation straight from your misguided hands. Still on music, Sony has made an AI music detection tool. It can identify the underlying tunes used in tracks generated by AI, paving a potential path for writers, composers to claim compensation. It's unclear how or why AI services would integrate this, seeing as they are largely built on legally questioned modes of training and data. LinkedIn is promising to keep our comment section authentic. With a deluge of bots and LLM generated comments, this is a very welcome promise. Let's hope it's effective. The Eros universe has been launched as the Indian production, distribution, and technology company looks to provide, quote, a rights led creator economy platform. All right. Eros has a huge film library, around 12,000 titles, and with clearance for Gen AI use, this could provide a lot of scope for creators. What exactly they can or will do with it remains to be seen. The company itself shared this face swap feature as a teaser of what a game changing AI powered cultural ecosystem could look like. Curated cuts, as always, better viewed at the newsletter. No roads. Amidst all the generative AI grandstanding from fly by night users, it's always refreshing to look at how elements of this technology are being actually integrated into production workflows. I have written before about Mary by Moon Valley and Asteria, the model being built by and for filmmakers and VFX artists, founded on cleanly sourced data. Paul Trillo and the Asteria team worked with Aston Martin F1 team for this spot at the end of last season, where the brief apparently was to go places where there are no roads. It's a cool spot, but arguably the workings are more fascinating, bringing together miniatures, 3D modeling, VFX, and generative rendering. The breakdown is here. I've linked to it. They could control every single frame on the timeline married to the AI workflow. There was no prompt and hope for the best stuff here. You might recall I had shared Kuko sometime last year, also by Trillo. That piece used generative AI to give life to hand drawn artwork, bringing together artist and musician. As Trillo says, where's the fun in prompting your way through all of this? Believers Succeed from Meta India. Meta for Business has this digital short targeted at small businesses, hyper-local, made in Tamil, and tapping into many nuggets that will appeal directly to the target audience. No translations, customizations, dubbing or vubbing. It's nice storytelling, and hey, star power helps. They say it was, quote, built to celebrate every SMB owner who chose belief over doubt. Because the title says, Nambuvar Velavar. Believers Succeed. And down to some quick hits. YouTube is TV, but this has also meant that creators are now studios, at least the successful ones who have made sustainable businesses of it. Here is another step in bringing the TV world and YouTube world together. In the US, the Wela Group has launched Lighthouse Studios to build a TV like schedule of creator content, they say. Indonesia's social media ban for under 16s begins on the 28th of March, making it the first non Western country to do so. Jim Louderback over at the Inside Creator Economy is calling it the ban that breaks TikTok. Why? Because it is TikTok's number one global market. It's also Facebook's second biggest after India and is in the top 5 for YouTube and Instagram. Crucially, he says TikTok Shop generated $13.1 billion in Indonesia in 2025. I knew Indonesia was big, but that is a whopper of a number. More music to Netflix. The streamer will air Harry Styles' One Night in Manchester the day after he performs his new album live to a sold-out crowd. That's about it for this week. Ping me please with any feedback or recommendations to feature or ideas to collaborate. I work with individuals and teams on content and creativity. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. And for a more eclectic set of writings, I'd love for you to have a look at my other Substack, Coffee and Conversations.